Hey guys, and welcome back to Will Squared. I'm Will Sr.
And I'm Will Jr.
And today we're going to be talking about NFL. We do have a lot of reaction with what happened in the college football ranks. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow. We're going to have actually Gabe is going to join us again from Austin. And then we also have a special guest, but I'll introduce him tomorrow.
Yep.
And he's going to be bringing a lot of information. So I hope you guys join us. But today, like I said, we're going to be talking about the NFL. And so we're going to get right into it.
On the first topic, the Dolphins had a very important win this past weekend, but it wasn't as pretty as we both could have expected. What are your opinions on the game?
Yeah, I mean, the way the Jets have been playing and the way Miami had been playing, you would have figured it would have been a cakewalk, but it was all but a cakewalk. Miami was down 23-15 at one point, and we had a scramble to score a touchdown. Actually, we kicked a field goal at the last few seconds of the second quarter to make it 15-13.
Yeah.
Then we fell back 23-15. Then we had to score a touchdown with a 2-point conversion and to tie it up, and then also have another field goal in the last few seconds of the fourth quarter just to take it into overtime. And then in overtime, Tua did what he was supposed to. He found Jonnu Smith in the touchdown in the end zone, touchdown, and Miami wins. But they made it a little more. They made it harder on themselves than we should have. Kind of happy that we won, though. It still keeps us on track to potentially make the playoffs. Although, as the weeks go by, the teams in front of us are just not giving any way, right? So it's getting a lot more difficult to actually get into that 7th spot, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. So yeah, that was the game that this past weekend.
Yeah.
What did you think?
In my opinion, the Jets defense just played well. This whole season, we've been talking about how we thought they would be the same kind of defense as the last 2 years. You bring in Aaron Rodgers, it's a surely playoff team, but they haven't been playing well defensively, especially since Salah got fired. But they played well against the Dolphins for about 3 quarters. Then in the fourth quarter, Tua just turned up, started to just pass the ball deep, short. It all worked. The first 3 quarters, that defense just played well. There's a lot like cover 2, but the linebackers played about 10 yards. So there's those quick slants did not work as much. So Mike had to adjust. In the fourth quarter, there's a lot more outside passes. And a lot more short passes to get the yards, because you do have Hill, who's fast. You have Jalen Waddle, who's fast. You got Achane, who's also fast. So yeah, so Jets, they just played good. Honestly, they played good, especially for this kind of season that they've been having. But the Dolphins were a little bit better, and they got the ball first. So that's all it came down to, pretty much. But next week, humongous game for you guys. Humongous. The Texans. It's at the Texans. It's in a dome, so you gotta worry about no damn weather stuff. There are 2 really key matchups for this whole game. One is the defense of the Dolphins. They need to stop Mixon. Okay, defense against Joe Mixon. That's number 1. Number 2 is kind of the opposite. The Houston defense against Tua. Because the Houston defense are playing really well the last couple of weeks, even though their quarterback is not that much. But they're still winning games. They're still 8-5. If they win this weekend, they win the South, which is a crazy thing to say. But I mean, Titans suck. The Jags suck. Colts are still rebuilding. But they probably need one more year for Richardson to pop off. Those are the stakes, pretty much. If the Dolphins stop Joe Mixon, I think the Dolphins win. If the Texans limit Tua's passing game, I think they also win, because Tua's had 300 yards the last 4 games about. So yeah, so he's playing hot. He's playing really hot. So this is going to be a great game to watch. Very important. If Dolphins lose, you're pretty much out, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you got just win out. So it's gonna be a great game. You?
Yeah, I think I'm going to just talk on Miami's offense. I think we need to get our running game going. To take
Good
a little
luck.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what else? We need to take some pressure off Tua, which I don't think he really feels it. Going back to Tua, yeah, he's got 11 TDs, one interception in the last 4 games. Been passing over 300 each of those games. He's got the highest pass percentage. So he's been playing lights out lately, and we hope that he continues playing like that. Yeah, we don't have to worry too much about the cold in Texas. Where, like you said, there's a dome.
It's
But yeah, if we lose this game, we're pretty much definitely out. There's no way around it. I mean, we still have the Chargers. We got Denver in front of us, and they're 2 games up. So
yeah.
we really need to not drop the ball in any of these games.
Yeah.
I do see Miami winning, although I hate saying that, but I think it's going to be maybe like a 24-20 game. Obviously, I'm rooting for Miami, and that's why I'm picking them. Yeah, I think it's going to be like 24-20. What do you think?
I can totally see that happening. I'm not gonna pick a winner because these Texans are just so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Like they have a great team, like roster wise. Coaching is great again on paper, but they just haven't been like building from last year. Like last year, they
Yeah.
made the second round. They lost to the Ravens, which was
No surprise.
like no surprise, like nothing to laugh at either. So they had a great year for a first year head coach and quarterback, and you would think they would like build off it, but they're just so unpredictable, and they're only here because of their damn division. Like if Colts, Jags, and Titans
Yeah.
were not in their division, you wonder what their record could be. I mean, they're the
Yeah.
same as the Ravens, and I would argue Ravens are 10 times better.
Yeah.
And we'll find out because they play on
Yeah,
Christmas.
we'll find out.
So in
Okay,
like 2 weeks.
awesome. Yeah, that should be a good matchup. And speaking of the Ravens,
Yeah.
you guys had the bye week,
Mhm.
and I would even argue to say you have another bye week coming up because you guys are playing the Giants. What do you think about that? I mean, is that
Um,
something that we can say that the Ravens are just going to plow over the Giants?
I would hope so. I would really hope so. Especially since the Giants have no literal passing game or the running game. I mean, like Drew Lock, I thought he was going to be at least like decent.
I do too.
He's an like second round pick, I believe. He had a terrible game against Tampa. And Giants are probably just trying to tank for the first pick, the top 2 pick. I'll probably get Cam Ward or Sanders for their future. But for this weekend, I hope the Ravens just like kill them, please, because this past week they lost to Philly and they were so like pissed off from that. So take it out on the Giants because we have the Steelers, we have the Texans, and the Browns, and we need to like win out. We have to win
Yeah.
out to win a division. So we need to freaking just win out, just kill the Giants, like get some morale up, your confidence up, and
Yep.
go like get the last 3 wins because Pittsburgh is going to be the biggest game. You need to beat Pittsburgh. Again, this
Yeah.
is the second time that Lamar Jackson is going to face Pittsburgh at home, and the first time was during like COVID with
With
0
nothing
fans.
at stake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like no fans in attendance. Okay. So I need every fan that can go to the game to be as loud as possible because the damn division is on the line.
Yeah, and
Not really, but yeah, close
Yeah.
enough.
and talking about the Steelers, they have
Yes.
a
Yes.
crazy schedule the next 10 days. Let's talk
Yes.
about them really quickly, and let's see what we think is going to happen to Pittsburgh, and what they realistically need to come out in the next 3 weeks to realistically win that division, which, by the way, we don't want them to win the division, but as sports fans, we want to look at the whole picture.
Of course.
So who are they playing?
They play Philly this Sunday, and then obviously the Ravens next
Ravens.
Saturday, and then the Chiefs on Christmas, which Christmas this year is on a freaking Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is brutal. And if I was a Pittsburgh fan, I would be pissed off with the damn league because how are you going to tell me that our last 8 games of the season are all the division and
Yep.
Philly and Chiefs? That's number one.
Yeah.
Number 2, the Chiefs 4 days after you play the Ravens
Yep.
on Christmas. I mean, it's like great content, but crap for the players because damn well that Raven game is going to be a war.
Well, but here's the thing, though. I mean, no one really, at least I didn't expect the Steelers to be where they're at right now.
I did not expect it either.
They were, yeah, because they were going to rely on Fields, which we all know what he brings to the table, and then they also had Wilson, right?
Yeah.
Now, I've always liked Russell Wilson. I'm not going to lie. I've always liked him in Seattle. I've liked him in Denver, and I was hoping that Miami would pick him up because I just like the way he plays. Last year, he didn't have a really good season.
Nope.
He started off really bad with Denver, but he came on strong at the end. I think his last few games of the season last year, he played really well. And then no one really expected him to even start, although he, when he did sign with Pittsburgh, he did say, hey, I'm here to, fight for that first spot. But he's been playing outstanding. There's no way that Fields is going to see the field anytime soon. So, no one really expected the Steelers to be here at this point. And so these games weren't really, that important, right?
If you
but
would.
now they mean a lot, right? Now you're talking about Philly. You're talking about the Ravens, which has always been a tough divisional game. And then the Chiefs, who
4 days later on Christmas.
Out of those three, I would probably say the Chiefs are going to be the easiest game, although they're going to have
craziest part, though.
And it's going to be the least, the game where they have the least rest, but it'll probably be the easiest game of those three. Realistically, what do you think Steelers need to do in those three games in order to kind of lock up that division? Not considering what the Ravens do, just on their own.
You just can't lose like 2 out of the 3, pretty much. You're gonna face the Bengals.
After
not an easy last 4 games. We're talking about just the 3 games. There's still the Bengals there, which could be fighting for a spot if all things go absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
The Steelers just can't lose 2 out of them because the Ravens are 2 games back. Plus the head-to-head is going to happen in 2 weeks, so it could be 1 game. Just can't lose 2. With Philly is going to be really, really tough. And I hate the league for putting Pittsburgh and Eagles at the same time as the Bills and Lions this weekend. What the hell? Can you move one of the stupid Monday night games out the way? The Falcons are playing the Raiders on Monday night. Can you just get that out of there?
I don't think they're
Lions on Monday night or something.
Yeah, I don't think that the flex rule is in effect just yet. But I agree. I mean, they should have a much better game on Monday night. But hey, we'll talk about next week in a couple of minutes.
But Steelers.
So you're saying, the Steelers need to win 2 of the next 3,
or just beat the Ravens.
Or beat the Ravens.
I'm assuming that the Ravens go 4-0.
Yeah,
because they face the Giants, the Steelers, the Texans, and then the Browns. So that's me just assuming. I don't know who has a better conference record because Pittsburgh lost to the Browns once. So they have
So right now Pittsburgh is 3-1 in the division.
Yeah.
In the conference, they're 7-2.
Okay.
Baltimore is 5-4.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Pittsburgh probably have to lose 3
of the next 5.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Bet. Okay.
Or the next 4. Yeah.
But Pittsburgh is going to be a rough 10 days, man. Philly, Ravens, and Chiefs. But on the bright side, it's not a lot of travel. You travel to Philly, you travel to Baltimore, and you're home against the Chiefs. So
I mean that's less than 2-hour flights,
pretty much combined.
Yeah. All right, let's leave Steelers in the back. Now let's talk about one of the really probably the best game this past weekend, which was the Rams and Bills. Tell me how a quarterback can be part of 6 touchdowns, 3 pass, 3 rush, set an NFL record for the first quarterback to ever do that, and yet still come away with a loss.
Well, the Rams were healthy. And this is what I've been saying to anyone for weeks. If Rams are fully healthy, you don't want to see them in the playoffs because that offense is so complex, has so many superstars. You have Puka and Cup on the outside, like Kyron, and a future gold jacket at your damn quarterback position, and a mastermind at your freaking like, coach. Their offense is filthy if they're healthy. And it's just so unfortunate that Josh Allen had probably the best performance I've ever seen from a quarterback,
So
and
do you
still
think
lost.
it was more the Rams offense
Yes.
rather than the Bills defense
Yeah.
getting exposed?
Yes. The Rams offense was pure art all night long. There's so many of the same things, like bunch sets, everything, but just one small change that messed up the whole defense, like a motion, and
Yeah.
inside zone, outside zone. It was just pure textbook. Yeah, the Bills defense, yeah, they didn't play that good, but they're not.
I mean, to allow what, 44 points?
Yeah, but they're not that bad like usually.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. They're not that bad.
So do you feel that they got exposed though? Is this defense ready to win the Super Bowl?
They did not get exposed. It's just Puka had a career day. A Cup had a great game. Matt Stafford had a great game. It's just like a perfect game for the offense, pretty much.
Okay.
And it's just that unfortunate that Josh Allen had again 6 touchdowns.
Yeah,
and
that's
lost
insane.
the game.
Yeah, that's
I
insane.
mean, yeah, it was one of the greatest performances I've seen by a quarterback ever. Like I was
Yeah.
so shocked.
Yeah.
But the thing that cost them was that last play. They ran a sneak at the 2-yard line with 1 minute. They had all their timeout, but they were down by 10. Okay, they had a minute left at the 2, and they ran the ball and they didn't get it, so they used a freaking
timeout.
The game was over then if you didn't get the damn onside kick.
Yeah.
Which we both know is like what, like 10%, 15%.
Not even. No. That was the old kickoff rule. This new
No, it
kickoff
still
rule,
is.
I don't think there's any possible way that the kicking team can recover that ball. There's no way. It's practically impossible unless the receiving team fumbles the ball within those 10 yards or be whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's just
That's
you
the
got to
point.
let the other team know. You can't bunch up your people on one side. You have to keep them separated.
Yeah, like 5 and 5 or yeah.
And they can't, obviously, I mean, regardless, the old rule is the same that you can't move until the ball is kicked. And
Well,
there's just, anyway.
Well, it's worked like twice against the Ravens this damn year. So it's not impossible, but yeah, like 10% chance.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
And then you couldn't like stop them. So yeah.
So
the Bills are fine. The Bills are fine. I'm not worried about the Bills.
All right.
The Bills are fine.
All right, cool. All right, let's talk about our other favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys. They play on Monday night and they lose. But not only that, what I think was the worst news coming out of that game is that linebacker got his whole knee tore out. I mean, the whole thing, ACL, MCL, and what's the other CL that's in there somewhere?
PCL. I'm pretty sure he also tore the PCL and the ACL are on the inside, and the
MCL is outside.
MCL is on the inside of your leg.
Yeah,
of your leg. It's on the inside. Yeah, I felt so bad for him. He's been balling. Like he has been balling all year. Since like Micah has been hurt, he's been balling. And since like Micah came back, both balling together. So I was really sad for him because he's a bright future. Him and Micah play very well together. But now, I mean, he tore 3 things in there. It might be like a miracle if he plays at all next season. You just pray they can get back to his full self because he had a bright future. He really did. And that's really it for him.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. I mean,
it's going to be really
there's been a lot of advancements in the medical field, and you get some of these guys that come back few months, 6 months with an ACL. Even the Achilles, you saw A-Rod came back within a couple of months. But It's going to be difficult, and you don't want to ill wish on anybody, or wish ill on anyone. And everybody, all the football players, although they're rivals on the field, they have respect for each other because
Yeah, of course.
it's a small community, right? You only have 3, 4, 500 players, or maybe 1,000 players in the world that play at this level, right? So,
Yeah.
it's a small community. But let's go back to the game. What did you think about the game?
Okay. I did not even want to talk about this game because I just expected a classic Cowboy Bengal. Yeah, it'll be some points in there. Joe Burrow would play well, and he did. Chase carried me in fantasy yet again. He had 45 points.
And you needed 10 just to win your match. So you definitely got what you needed.
But the reason why we're talking about this, how do these errors just keep happening to the Cowboys, man? I mean, how? The first thing I was taught in football for the punt return meetings, anyway, special teams things, if the ball gets blocked and it still passes the line of scrimmage, get the hell away from it. Don't even try to be a hero. Just get the hell away from it. Oh, I couldn't believe what I was seeing last night. These are professional athletes. This is peewee stuff. If the ball passes the line, get the hell out the way. If it's before the line, go try and get it because it's still going to be the fourth down because it's not past the line of scrimmage, right? So if you get it and it's a fumble and they recover, it's still your ball if it's before the line of scrimmage. But it went after, and he tried to be a hero, and footballs are so hard to predict where they're going to bounce because it's not circle. It doesn't go just like this. It goes boom to here, all that kind of stuff. Yep. And it wouldn't be right here. It would go all the way up here, and it hit his shoulder and went down. And that's how you lose the game. And then Jerry, can we talk about Jerry for a second? Because I highly doubt that you actually know about this. This man said last night in his post-game press conference, I would have preferred if we just let them punt. So don't go for the block because of the risk that it could be a fumble. I can't deal with this, man. I can't. And you're telling me that Jerry has been the owner for over 35 years, even probably more. How does Theo deal with this? If this guy was my owner, I would try to change teams as quickly as possible.
Oh.
Because how could you support an owner like this? But he's the damn boss. What are you gonna do?
Well, I don't know if you can say you support the owner. You support the team. It's unfortunate that the team is owned by someone like Jerry. It's definitely unfortunate.
This man said he just would rather just play it safe. So he's saying don't go for the block punt with 2 minutes left in the game and you have Cooper Rush. Of course you go for the damn punts. It's going to be so hard for Cooper Rush to go down the whole field for the game, the winning field goal, because you have Aubrey. Aubrey can kick from 65 yards. Cowboy drama.
Yep. Let's leave the Cowboys alone.
Sure,
just wanted to touch on that, especially because of the injury. That's very unfortunate. Let's talk about games coming up, and then let's go through these really quickly, and then let's look at the playoff picture as it stands now.
Sure.
Obviously, it'll probably change by next Monday, but Thursday night football is going to be pretty decent. At least I hope it's decent. Rams against the Niners. The Niners are playing a little better now that they're a little more healthy. With Purdy back there. So what do you see with this game?
Both teams really need this win.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
And it's a game matchups again. Can the San Fran defense hold the Rams offense? And can the Rams defense hold Purdy? Because Purdy's been throwing the ball a lot more this season than past year because of McCaffrey. He's been hurt, the whole running back thing. And the Rams defense is not that great. So it's going to be probably a high scoring game. San Fran is home, but I still have the Rams.
Yeah, let's talk about that division really quickly. I mean, Seattle's in first place with a 8-5 record.
Cardinals pissed me off, man.
As bad as the 49ers have been this year, they're only 2 games out of the division lead.
Yeah, but it's not like a say on their division. It's a decent division. But Cardinals pissed me the hell off, man. Gosh.
Yeah, Cardinals, I mean, the Cardinals are back to 6-7. They
had a chance.
Yeah,
they had a chance to beat the Seahawks this past weekend. I said it was it was going to be the Cardinals. They were at home. They got embarrassed, like in Seattle. They only scored like 10 points, I think, or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got blown out at
Yep.
home. I mean,
Yeah. So I mean, if San Francisco wins, hey,
it's
they're
all
back.
close again. Yeah.
I mean, all three teams could potentially be 7-7,
Yep.
and then if Seattle loses, now they're only just one game back.
Pretty much.
So
But it's gonna be a great game.
talking about Seattle, they play against Green Bay. What do you think about that one? They're playing in Seattle, so it's a little better, but at the same time, the Packers are used to the cold weather, so it's not like Seattle's gonna be cold.
This game is gonna be so loud, and I hope it is. It's a
Yeah.
Sunday night in Seattle. The Seahawks are back to being good.
Yep.
The Packers obviously playing hot. It's gonna be a great game. I really can't pick a winner here, because you never know what the noise like does to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Green Bay on this one.
I'll probably saying have to go with Packers.
Leaning toward the Pack, maybe by 3 points.
Yeah.
It's going to be a one score game. Yeah, exactly. The Bucks and the Chargers, that's going to be another good game. That's also going to impact the playoff.
Yes, and Falcons, you pissed me off as well, okay? Because you allowed 3 weeks ago, when they played the Ravens, the Bucks, in my opinion, the season was over because you lost Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And they're still a good team, but I thought that the Falcons would like push away or something like that because they had like a good team.
Yeah.
But Kirk Cousins has 0 touchdowns in his last 4 games and 8 picks. I mean, like something has to change there. I'm hoping they don't like bench him for Penix because that's not going to solve a damn thing. Like Penix, he's a first round pick, but you paid $160 million to Kirk Cousins, and that's for a reason. I still know why they chose Penix with the 8th overall pick. You could have got a wide receiver, a defensive player.
Yeah, somebody to help.
But Tampa's back in the driving seat now. So this is a huge game. And the Chargers are the current of 60, tied with the Broncos, who are same division. So they're trying to keep that like 6 seed because the 2 seed will probably be the Bills. So you want to just like not face the Bills first, of course. You'd rather face the Ravens first or maybe like Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, obviously, I'd want to see the Bucks win.
Yes, you need
Chargers coming off a very disappointing loss to those Chiefs. Again, 3-point or whatever. I think it was a 2-point game.
Dude, sorry. I cannot wait for this damn like Chief and Steeler game because it's gonna be 59 minutes of black magic. Just for that last minute, like who's gonna get more luck in that final minute in the fourth quarter? It's gonna be the most dark game probably ever. It's on Christmas at like 1 p.m. I think.
Yep. Well, we'll have more enough time to talk about that one. But yeah, for this one, I'm gonna go with the Bucks. Obviously, I'm rooting against the Chargers again because they're in front of Miami in that playoff. And then the best game of the week.
The People's Super Bowl
and the Lions, which, yes, the people would love to see the Bills and the Lions.
The People's Super Bowl.
So what are you thinking about that? They're playing in Detroit, so it's indoor, no cold weather. Although both teams play well. I would say the Bills play really well in the cold. We don't know too much about the Lions in the cold because they have that dome. So what do you think is going to happen there? Can Allen come back and do another 6 TD against this Lions defense?
No. I have a feeling this game is going to be really tight, like defensively for some reason. Okay. I don't know why. I just have that feeling like a 24-20, like 23-20 type. I don't know why. Based off of last week, it'd be really like simple to say, oh, it's going to be a really tough game. Like they'll be won in the fourth quarter because of what happened this past week. Josh Allen. 6 touchdowns. Their defense was not good against the Rams. The Lions played well against the Packers. Dan Campbell with his damn 4th down calls, which are starting to scare me a little bit. I can't lie because it happened this past year in the championship against San Fran. Yeah, and you have probably the best team right now that you can't like do that much. I have the Lions though, and I need the Lions to win.
This is a big game for both teams. Yes. Right. So the Bills are currently 10-3.
Yes.
They're locked in as a 2nd seed, but
But
Pittsburgh is also 10-3. They could potentially frog jump them into the second seed, and then all of a sudden Bills don't have that bye. On the other side, the Lions are the first seed, and they got Philly right on their heels, with which could potentially take the first seed off of them. So this is a really big game. I would, I love the Lions only because they're lovable losers, and
nope.
it's great to see what Dan Campbell has done there. I'm going to pick the Lions in a tight game. I think you're right. I think it's going to be like 24-20, something in that area.
Yeah. It's a huge weekend for Pittsburgh
Yep.
and the Steelers, or Pittsburgh and the Steelers. The Steelers and the Bills. You have the Bills playing the damn Lions, which is a top playoff matchup, and then you have the Steelers and the Eagles. So Steeler fans want the Bills to win so bad,
Yep.
and the Lion fan wants Pittsburgh to win so bad.
Yeah. So it's going to be good matchups this
And they're
week.
both at the same time, man.
Well, we're going to have to use one monitor,
Definitely.
computer, and one on TV. All right. So let's go ahead and really quickly for the next 5 minutes talk about the playoff picture, how it looks now.
All right.
And the AFC, I'll just run them down, and then we kind of talk about it. AFC, we have obviously Kansas City first place, Bills in the 2 spot, Pittsburgh in the 3 spot, Houston currently in the 4 because they're the division lead. You got Baltimore as the 5th, then you got the Chargers 6th, and then Denver 7th.
Yeah.
Do you see any changes happening there?
The only change I could see happening is Pittsburgh at 5 and the Ravens at 3. The Bills could possibly move down to 3.
Yeah.
And the Ravens could be 2 because they beat the Bills. So the Bills lose 2 more games and the Ravens win out.
Yep.
And the Steelers, they lose 2 or 3, then the Ravens could get the 2 seed.
Yeah.
But team-wise, no. In my opinion, it's going to be these teams that are there are going to stay there. The Broncos are playing well, and the Chiefs might get the number 1 seed by the last week, so they're gonna rest their starter when they play each other.
Yeah, we'll see. Because the 2 teams on the bubble right now is Indy, Miami, and then Cincinnati comes in. Again, they're 2 games behind Denver, so it's going to be very difficult for the next 4 games unless Denver or Chargers go in a losing streak.
Okay. The Broncos face the Colts this weekend, so you need the Colts to win. Then they're at the Chargers, so that could be another huge game. After that, they're at the Bengals. So again, if the Dolphins win out, it's going to be tight. It's going to be really tight.
Yeah.
But they faced the Chiefs last game of the season.
Yeah.
But by then, they could be the number 1 seed. They could just rest their starters.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with the AFC. Yeah. I mean, we still got 4 games. We'll talk more about it next week. Let's jump over to the NFC, which I think is a little clearer. At least the top 6 teams are a little clearer. You have Lions with the 1 seed, Philly with the 2 seed, Seattle with the 3, which again, we kind of talked about that division already. The Bucks with the 4. The Vikings with 5, Green Bay with 6, and then you got the Washington football team or Washington Redskins or Washington Commanders, the 7th spot, which I'm pretty happy, for Washington. This is, they went through that 4-game or 3-game losing streak. They're kind of finding their way back. Kind of happy about that. What do you think about the NFC?
All right. I think that there are 5 teams that are certain.
Yeah.
The top 2 is going to be either Philly or then the Lions are going to be top 2.
Sure.
3 for me is going to be Seahawks or Rams.
Right.
And the Rams are also that one team that could push Commanders. But Commanders do not have a tough schedule. They have the Saints this weekend, who they have to win, and Saints don't have a quarterback. So if they don't blow them out, then the Eagles, which they could still lose that one and still make the playoffs. So that's why I'm saying they can only lose 1 at most 1. And your last 2 are at the Falcons and then the Cowboys.
which
you need
is
to
a
beat the Falcons.
big rivalry game against the Cowboys.
Yes, and it will be really sad for all my friends who are Commander fans if they are
In it and
they
then
lose
lose
to the
to
playoffs.
Dallas
Yeah,
to get knocked out.
yeah. But the Rams are the one team that could make the playoffs that are not there right now.
Yeah.
But for my perfect prediction, I'll go with the Rams at 3, Tampa at 4, and Commanders at 7. I would love to see that playoff if that happens.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a great playoff, man. It's going to be a really great because there's so many things that are about to happen. Chiefs could like three-peat. The Lions are so good. Philly is really good. The Bills are good. The Ravens are the Ravens with Derrick Henry. It's going to be a great playoff, man.
It's going to be some good playoff.
And Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and we have 4 weeks to see how it all folds.
Yes, we could still see a huge twist. There's still plenty of time to see a huge twist that'll change the whole season.
Yeah, I mean, there's still chance for somebody to kind of just back up in it, you know.
Yeah, back up.
There are some teams that go on losing streaks at the end of the year, due to some injuries or mishaps. So it could potentially happen that a team that we're not even expecting, even the 49ers, if they win out, it's a possibility they make it. You know, with such a bad season they've had so far this year, they still have the potential of making it if they win out, and you know, a couple of other teams results, you know, bounce their way. But yeah, it's going to be a great week. Again, you know, join us tomorrow as we talk about college football and that playoff, and that's already all set. Good. You want to say something?
And then the following day, even more drama. Baseball.
Yes, a lot of things been happening in baseball.
Major news has been announced, processed. Yeah.
It's and more
be a long convo.
And more to come, right? And then also we got to talk about the UCL.
The basketball.
Barcelona playing tomorrow, Man City playing tomorrow.
2 games that are huge. Yeah.
And City has to win, otherwise they're really in trouble. But anyway, we'll talk about that later on this week. So anyway, thanks for joining. Again, join us tomorrow. Follow us, drop us a comment. And Will and I are out.